James Bond Skyfall. Or you could just call it Skyfall. I have been waiting so long for this movie to come out because I am a huge Bond fan, and I can attest to the amazing movies and the bad ones. And there's a couple of bad ones that we had to go through in the past. Is this a great one or is it a bad one? Well, let's talk about it. Skyfall is the 23rd movie out of all of them, and is the third one featuring Daniel Craig. Lots of people seem to be like tugging each other when it comes to Daniel Craig. Like, they don't like the way he's like this action star kind of person. Like, they don't like Casino Royale or Quantum of Solace because it doesn't have the gadgets that, the old movies do. And I say to you, why do you miss those? I mean, there's a couple cool gadgets, like the exploding pen and all that stuff. But then there's some stupid ones, like the invisible car. And the little goofy ball thing in The World Is Not Enough is just dumb. So in Skyfall, we get a taste of old and a lot of taste of new, and a lot of new characters. I can't really talk about the plot because I don't want to spoil it too much, but it opens up with James Bond just on a normal mission. He's trying to retrieve a data chip that has a list of agents, and he's chasing this guy around, and he gets away because one of the agents, who's played by Naomi Harris, I think that's her name, shoots Bond because of M, also you can call her Mom, tells her to shoot him regardless, and she ends up shooting him, and then he's gone. So then he comes back because London is being under attack by Sylvia, I think that's his name, who's played by Javier Bardem. And that's as much as I can talk about without getting too much into the story. I personally loved it. Is it the best Bond movie ever? You can be the judge of that. But I think this movie will finally tell people that, hey, maybe Daniel Craig is the best Bond of our time. I know a lot of people still think it's Sean Connery. I love him. Lots of people want to say Roger Moore. I say to yourself, you're on some drugs. Some people will say Timothy Dalton. I say you're stupid. And some people want to say Pierce Brosnan, which Pierce Brosnan is good, but he's in a lot of terrible ones, except for GoldenEye. I love GoldenEye. Daniel Craig has two good films under his belt. Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie ever made, and Quantum of Solace, which it wasn't on par with Royale, but it was a good action flick. This is kind of on the same level of Casino Royale, but this one is a little bit different because this is more of a personal movie, where none of the Bond movies have ever been personal to James Bond. We get to see, like, his emotions. We get to see, like, his childhood. We get to see, like, since he's been away, like, presumed dead in the first 10 minutes of the movie, he's lost a step. It's just great to watch, and I love those kind of stories about characters. And to do it with Bond, very, very edgy, but they do it so well. Let's talk about the characters. You have Ralph Fiennes, or I call him Voldemort. He comes in as just a kind of a semi kind of boss. Comes in and tells M in the beginning of the movie that she is going to be fired in about maybe 2 months. He's a cool character, but you don't see him that much. You also have, I don't know the guy who plays Q, but I really love him in this movie. I think he's very interesting, and I want to see him in more of the Bond movies. The Bond girl in the movie, she's really sexy, but she doesn't really do anything. Javier Bardem is great. Daniel Craig, of course, steals it as Bond. I do have a couple complaints, but they're very small. I think the movie is a little bit too long. It's 2.5 hours, and there's about maybe 20 minutes or so that they could have cut out. It's fine. It's not like the movie's like boring or anything like that. It's just some of the conversations they have, they go on a little too much. If it wasn't for the great dialogue in the movie, then I would have been very, very bored. But the dialogue and the chemistry between everyone is just great. It makes it work. This next part is not a complaint. It's more like a nitpick. When you see Skyfall, you're going to think to yourself, this reminds me a whole lot of The Dark Knight. I'm not going to tell you why, but if you see the movie, you'll know why. It's very clear. The action is great. There's some really cool scenes where Bond fights. There's a great scene where he fights somebody in an elevator. Best scene in the movie, and it's all one shot. It's very, very, very good. Another complaint I had was I felt that they were taking the bad guy from GoldenEye and they made him gay. That's pretty. I don't have a problem with gay people. I really, really don't. But I found it was unoriginal for this kind of role. I mean, Javier Bardem is amazing in this. He's amazing, period. And he's amazing in this. But I just felt like he could have did something like, or they could have did something else. But this is a great way to redo GoldenEye, which I thought the bad guy GoldenEye was more, loud and evil and all this other stuff. Whereas Javier Bardem is kind of like the Joker in a way, which is cool. I know this review is going to suck. I understand that, but I don't want to say too much. That's the thing. I mean, because anything I say will probably spoil it. that's about it. I mean, if you don't like Daniel Craig, odds are you're not going to like this. I would say for Bond fans and for those who do like Daniel Craig, I think the Bond fans will love it. I think you have nothing to worry about. Because this is the 50th anniversary of James Bond, and they do a lot of references in this. But they don't beat your head over it. Like, there's a scene where Q is talking to Bond, and he says, "Are you expecting an exploding pen? Because we don't do that anymore." And of course, that's a reference to GoldenEye. They even show the car from Russia with Love, which that was probably the best scene in the whole movie. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think fans will get goosebumps near at the ending of the movie. It's very, very good. And I want to see it again. I mean, because since I'm a huge Bond fan, I love Daniel Craig, and I love the dirty an action star type of person that he is, and I want to see him do more. So I give it 2 thumbs up. If you loved Casino Royale, odds are you'll love Skyfall, so you can get the taste of quantum of solace out of your mouth. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to be here for a long time because I have a lot of stuff to talk about. That's it for me. I'll be back soon. Take care.